Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your emergency episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. As you can see, we've got some special guests in the building. Miz is sleeping. I'm glad he's at peace. Do you know what I mean? That's the best place right now. After what happened today, we got special guests on. We got a couple more special guests potentially on as well in a few moments. I'll start with you guys. I mean, Guni, you messaged me straight away after the game, bro. And I've obliged, bro. It's good to see you. How are you feeling, man? Stupid question, but how are you?
This is why you don't see me posting anymore. Because my thing is, right, is if I do decide to post, it's just going to be absolute violence every single time. It's just going to be violence every single stream. And I'm pretty sure the people that are just going to get tired of hearing me going mental. I'm sorry, people. I didn't even say hello. Hello, everybody. Big up the chat. Big up everybody that else is on the stream. Now we got the pleasantries out of the way. I have written a list. I have written a list of people that need to go from Chelsea club. Sporting directors, they need to go. Pochettino, he needs to go. The owners need to go, but they're not going to go because they own the club. And we might be in for this ride for the next 8 or so years. Yeah. Now, we're going to get down to the squad. It's going to upset quite a few people. Even some of you on the stream might get upset. But this is not the time to be thinking of people's feelings. We're just going to get straight into it. Sanchez, he needs to go. Goalkeeper, not good enough. Thiago Silva, he's going anyway. Disasi, rubbish, needs to go. Badiashile, I was wrong about this guy, needs to go. Levi Colwell, I've had enough of him, needs to go. Ben Chilwell, rubbish, needs to go. Cucurella, rubbish, needs to go. Gallagher, rubbish, needs to go. Sterling, rubbish, needs to go. Yeah, rubbish, no, but for his age, his experience, what he's won, he's definitely not been showing enough. Absolutely not, and I've run out of patience for him. Madueke, not for me, needs to go. Nicholas Jackson, don't get me started on this guy. Do not get me started on this guy again. Ugochukwu, I don't know where he is right now. He's got to go. Mudryk, got to go. Arguing with fans and saying, I'll pay 10,000, whatever it is, for every goal that you need to score. Get out of here and take your 10K with you. Malang Sarr, bruv, how long has he been at Chelsea? We bought this guy as an investment flip, needs to go. Flip him now. How can we have a free signing and we're not even able to sell him? Nobody wants to take him.
125 bags a week. That's why.
Joking. Armando Breyer needs to go. Yeah. Enzo and Caicedo, they need to be performing a lot better. Now, the thing is I'm torn. I'm in between a rock and a hard place here because I don't necessarily think that overall they are terrible players. I've seen how they are tactically deployed for Chelsea Football Club. One is all the way east, one is all the way west. There is no cohesion between the two of them. They are rarely ever near each other on the pitch. It's an absolute mess. But I've got my eye on them. I've got my eye on them completely. Nobody for me is safe at Chelsea Football Club. Absolutely nobody, except maybe 3 or 4, a handful of players that deserve a chance going forward. But I said this. I've been saying this for the absolute longest. This squad is not good enough. This is not reactionary. Those of you people that have been watching me and have been listening to me for a while know I've called out the squad. I've called out the directors. I've called out the owners. I've called out the managers. And the chickens are coming home to roost. I don't see whatever manager that you bring into Chelsea Football Club, even the experienced, proven winners that I want at this club, they are not going to get near top 4 with this lack of talent we've got in the squad. I'm sorry, they're not going to get anywhere near it. We are a long, long way to even start again from competing and getting into European positions because we have recruited terribly. Absolutely terribly. How the hell do you spend 1 billion and you go backwards? Absolutely backwards. Take time. These players need time. As Younes says, as Johnny Mineral says, as so many other people say, you need a present to have a future. And right now, this present is an absolute shambles. Absolutely shambolic. So yeah, lads, please carry on, cook. Because I am not happy about this. This is why I stopped streaming, bro. Because I can't keep doing this. It's not good for my blood pressure. I can't keep doing this, bro.
Bro, I hear you, man. I mean, Alexis, big up, bro. Debut, good to see you. Monster in the building as well. Great to see you, brother. Long time no see. I mean, where are you guys at right now with the club? Like, we've lost 4-2 to Wolves. We've been spanked. And I think you said it just before we started, bro. You said, you know, if we sack the manager, we can't trust these sporting directors to, to hire the manager to replace him because they already maybe had a mismatch in the summer with manager to squad. And the sporting directors, people are saying, need to go as well because of the recruitment and the signing of 18 to 20-year-olds constantly. But then do you trust Egbali to appoint, or Todd Bowie to appoint, the right sporting director? Because they're the ones that appointed this lot. And they want to, I don't know what model they even want to run by. I don't even know. One minute they want Ronaldo, next minute they want children, bro. What's going on?
Man, the worst thing that happened to this regime was they had the first window by themselves where they went crazy on older players and they went for a win now model. And then they were like, oh no, we messed up. Let's give the keys to the future model. And what the problem is we're not going in either direction because I don't see a future at the moment. Like, the line's perfect. The present dictates what's going to come in the future. If you keep messing up repeatedly, you're going to be going backwards rather than forwards because everyone that's there will rot. It's like a disease. People are going to lose enthusiasm and not want to work in that place. But my problem is, whilst this squad is not a title winning squad, nowhere near, I don't think it's a top 4 squad. But no one can convince me there aren't pieces there to make top 6. Because no matter how bad we were, 2 game weeks ago, we were like 2 points away from 6th. Poch is the first thing you have to remove. And then more changes have to come cumulatively until you get to the summer. And in the summer, there needs to be a massive regroup and genuinely start building. Because there are good pieces there you can build around. We've seen this before, all of us. Under Lampard, the squad looked terrible. Rudiger looked finished. Christensen didn't look like a footballer. There were players that, like Jorginho, overrun consistently. Some people were saying Kante was finished. Tuchel comes in, all of a sudden we win the Champions League, finish third, scoring the most goals we scored in the season in 10 years. A manager can make a big difference. We need to change managers now. I was in the camp, give him till game week 19, reassess. Bro, I reassessed, it got even worse after 3-4 game weeks. I'm speechless at this moment in time. 8 goals in 2 games. And it should have been 15, and I'm not exaggerating.
I mean, Monstar, brother, good to see you. YouTube misses you. How are you, bro? And talk to me. What's your thoughts on the club right now, man? Before we dissect that nasty performance. Oh, I think you're muted, bro.
Can't hear you, mate.
Yeah.
Still the same.
Yeah, still the same. We'll let you figure that out for a moment. While we just talk on Wolves, and then we'll try and see if we can get your audio sorted. I don't know if there's anything I can do, to be honest. I don't think so. Yeah, there's nothing I can do, but yeah, you'll figure it out. I know you'll figure it out anyway. Yeah, still can't hear you at the moment. But yeah, Wolves, guys. Oh wait.
There you go. We can hear you a bit now.
Hey, something?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah. We got him now. Now we got him.
Hi. Obviously, I haven't seen you lot in a while. Big ups to all of you, man. Hold on. Yeah, I haven't spoken to you lot in a while. Obviously, I'm one of the people that advocated for Poch. Me, Matisse. I think Slens is there as well. Another one.
Yeah.
I thought he had changed, didn't it? In the sense that he said at the beginning of the season he has changed. He's learned from his time at PSG and things like that. My issue is there is obviously I think we can clearly see there's no connect between the what do you call it? The board and Poch in terms of who they're signing, because if you know how Poch plays, right? You look at Poch's time at Tottenham, where he was most successful. I don't count PSG. Anyone can be successful at PSG. With the way he played, right? The players he had, and you look at the guys we bought in the summer, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't align at all, innit? I'll give you a perfect example, right? Poch, I guess, knew that Thiago Silva, he's going to go into the season playing Thiago Silva, God knows how long, right? Fofana was injured. We knew from pre-season he was injured. And then the guy that we got to replace Fofana was Disassi. knowing how Poch plays, and Disasi's not a horrible defender. It's just for the match, right? In terms of who we're going to match Silva with for Poch's type of game, Disasi was a horrible buy. It made no sense. That's the number one thing. Poch, I've been watching, obviously we've been watching Chelsea all season now. He's played enough games. He started these games the same way every single game. He has not changed anything. Like every game starts the first 15 to 20 minutes slow and lethargic. This is from the Liverpool game, first game of the season when we drew 1-1 till now. First 15 minutes slow and lethargic. They pick it up a bit or whatever. Cool. But they've been doing the same thing over and over again. And teams have figured us out. It's as simple as that. Teams have figured us out. At no point in that Wolves game did Wolves ever feel they were under threat against us. Not at all. They were comfortable the whole time. I'm expecting Poch as a manager who sees this every week. All right, let me change something. Let me make some changes here. Let me make some changes there. No, it's the same. It's the same shit every single game. And I just don't get at this level in the Prem. Right? They say the method of madness is doing the same thing over and over again. We're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Teams beating us the same way over and over and over again. Nothing is changing. I know people want him sacked now. I think it's just better at the end of the season, just get rid. It's a shame because I wanted him to succeed here, but it's not changing.
Yeah.
And,
it's not working.
I don't agree with the players are terrible, this and that. I think the club messed up in a sense. You brought in so many young players and you're expecting all of them to just work straight away. You made too many changes at once. No, you don't do that, man. You do it gradually. You get what I mean?
But also, we didn't bring in any experienced players, and we didn't bring in any Premier League proven players. So all these players are in their first season of the league, and they're young, and they need developing. It's mad.
And injury-prone players. Injury-prone players.
True.
Don't forget that one. You're buying hospital bills.
This is where Chelsea need to okay, cool. If they say I don't think they will, but say they do sack him at the end of the season, where can you change things? You want a centre back, another centre back. You want a midfielder or a left back. I can't remember. I'm not sure if they want a midfielder. You want a left back. You want a striker. You need to buy experience now. All of this, I'm hearing Diamonde and all these guys. No, you don't replace Thiago Silva with guys that are 21 years old. Like, it's like, have you not learned? No, now you need to bring in experienced players. You bring in the height as well, because I know he struggled with that. But now you want to bring in more players now. Now you have to bring in experienced players.
Can we trust these sporting directors to do that? They were going to let Broya go out on loan, right? And guess who the replacement was? The replacement was Duran from Aston Villa. That's who the replacement was. If he wasn't injured, he'd be at the club right now. That was their replacement.
I need to ask. Let me ask you a question, and you as well, Monster. Right? Of all these players that we've signed, can you tell me any one of those players that have had two solid seasons at the highest level? Not a single one.
It's about this season.
I don't
the ones
know,
we bought this season.
No. Yeah, the ones the young players that we bought this season or feature heavily in this Chelsea team. Name me a time where they've had two solid seasons in the top level.
Nah, I can't think.
Why are they at the club? What are our expectations at Chelsea?
Cuckoo.
What is the expectation?
But I think Chelsea have they've gone down. I know people don't want to hear this. They've gone down the Arsenal route, and I know it's painful to hear.
I think they've gone further. Probably further.
Yeah, they've gone a bit further.
Extreme.
So when Mikel Arteta came into Arsenal, a lot of the players he either brought in from the academy or he bought. A lot of them were young and were kind of unknown. So Saka, Martinelli, Ben White, Saliba, although Saliba had some good loan spells, Gabriel some of us knew about him when we played him in the Champions League, but overall we didn't know too much about him. Them kind of things. Ben White, they've gone that, and like you said, they've gone a step further. they taken that to the max. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how they thought it would all work in terms of bringing all these young players in at the same
For
time.
that reason, they should be sacked, right?
Oh yeah,
For that, for me, yeah. I think the sporting directors need to go tonight. I know people are saying Pochettino should go tonight, but to hire a new manager, I'm gonna need a new director of football.
But
Yeah.
this is
The same thing Manchester United have just done with the COO or the CEO, whoever's just coming from Manchester City. I need that here right now.
so the
That's what
question
I
is
need.
though, what these guys that are sporting directors, right? Were they brought in to be our sporting directors? Because weren't they still going
Yes.
for Marcus Edwards or what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Christopher Vell was there.
Yeah.
Were
and-
they brought in to be sporting directors or were they brought in to be something else?
But
And
it
then
feels
were
like
still
are
going for a
they the
sporting
ones running the
director?
club as well on a day to day? Because it feels
They're
like
the ones running it right
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
But they weren't brought in initially to run the
I
club. They were supposed to go still for Marcus Edwards or whatever his name is. So what happened with that?
Michael Edwards.
Michael
So
Michael
he
Michael
was
Edwards.
Michael Edwards. There was never a confirmation with him though. There was Vivell that was in to become technical director, but then he bounced after 2 minutes.
And we don't know
probably
why.
understand why.
And we don't
No,
know
we do
why.
know
To
why.
this day now.
We do know why. No, we do know why. Because they kept vetoing his decisions. Every player that this guy went for, they started to go for other targets. They vetoed his decisions completely. That's why he left. And I even tweeted about it. You can advance to search my Twitters, my tweets, and you'll see. I will not be surprised if Christopher Vivell leaves Chelsea Football Club because they keep vetoing his decisions as to bringing in
At the
proper
same time,
experience
was
to the club.
his decisions weren't necessarily great either. I'm gonna keep it real. We spent a lot of money on some of the players that he wanted to bring in, or he brought in a lot of money. Like the João Felix loan, that was a lot. That was 10 million, man. Or how much? It was something like 10 million for a loan. That's true. That's crazy in itself, isn't it?
The
So
thing
yeah,
is,
the
right?
reason why was
Yeah,
that
go on, go on.
Vivell, I think, sorry, Vivell was he said Vivell had basically his position just became useless. Like they weren't really consulting him for anything like that. He wasn't really doing anything. So they kind of said, fuck it, kind of just said, you know what, we don't necessarily need this guy anymore, in it. That was the reason.
They put him on gardening leave. Yeah.
But the thing is, right? If you're gonna ask someone to lead your football club, probably best to find someone that's gonna lead who's already been there and done it in the Premier League, like an Edwards. This is why Edwards was clear, far and away top of the list, because he's already shown at a club in this country that he knows how to build a squad for the Premier League. Building a squad for the Premier League and dominating is different to building a squad in Bundesliga or building a squad for La Liga. It all requires different attributes and different skill sets. To build a team in this league, you need certain things. Those certain things that we don't have. When we do previews, or Guni obviously suspended his thing because he's had enough. I hear it. I'm not gonna lie. If I had another job, I might have to do the same.
I'm taking up more hours at work, bro. I do 50 hours a week now.
Bro, these men are trying to run me out of it. My comment sections on my review are going off, bro. People are trying to run me off YouTube. They're like, yo, if Poch is leaving, you leave with him. I'm like, what? What do you mean? You don't want me to be a YouTuber anymore? So it's mad. It's crazy because when you look at it, you're thinking to yourself, right? When we break down this team, right? I had a team that I wanted to put out. I want to see Enzo Caicedo in the deep positions for build-up play, because he keeps putting Enzo into the 10, into the half spaces, and then Caicedo is all in his own. He can't join the dots up. McAllister was right next to him at Brighton. Brighton's build-up play was so distinctive. It was 2 centre-backs and 2 centre-mids. They created a box and they passed it amongst each other until they got out. Then they spread it out wide to Estepanan or March, right? And we leave Enzo Fernandez up the pitch. But then on the flip side, when it comes down to potentially tracking down wingers in wide areas, because we're getting absolutely destroyed on the overloads. We saw it against Liverpool. Every time they switched the ball, gone. Today, Neto, loads of space on the overload with Chilwell, 2v1s, Kuna, 2v1s on the other side. We know Enzo's not tracking these guys. So, but then he wants to press from the front, but he hasn't got fast centre-backs to do that. He's not going to drop the line deep because he wants to press from the front. Like the whole team. And then we're going to get into the fact that we have to play out from the back, because if we try to go long, we ain't got nobody to hold the ball up, because we ain't got no striker that's aerially dominant. We can't cross the ball because there's no striker that's aerially dominant. Bro,
we don't play out from the back anymore. Because listen, I love goalkeepers that are shot stoppers no matter what. But Petrovic, this is what happened. If you watch the Liverpool game, majority of the time as soon as the ball got to Petrovic, it was hoofed up to, who was up front? Cole Palmer, and then it straight into Liverpool's hand, straight back at us. And this is not an indictment of, I don't want people to say, oh, I'm going at, because I'm not. He's a brilliant goalkeeper, brilliant shot stopper, innit? But it's just there's just so much mismatches within our team. No one matches each other. It's just not working out right now. It's not. There needs to be changes. We can't really Enzo and Caicedo. I see why Poch is playing Enzo so high up. He doesn't want Enzo so deep because he doesn't feel like he can do the defensive work, and it's leaving Caicedo on an island. Caicedo being on the island is not helping Silva and Disasi as well. And they're not quick enough to cover those spaces on the left or right. That's why they keep getting exposed. Right, they're getting killed out there.
Bro,
So
Neto and Cunha killed us today, bro.
Proper.
They were getting killed against Liverpool and Sterling as well. Sterling does not help. I'm gonna keep it real
At all.
against Liverpool. That what's the name of the
Facts.
kid on the left hand side? Is it what was his name? Does
Bradley.
anyone know?
Wait,
Bradley.
who for today? Or Liverpool?
No, for Liverpool. On the
Right
left
side,
hand
Bradley. Yeah, Bradley
right
cooked
side,
Sterling the
Bradley.
whole game. He cooked him.
No, he wasn't cooking Sterling. He was cooking Chilwell. Sterling was not doing anything to come back and help.
Bro, Chilwell is a shadow, man. Call him what he is.
He
The
is.
fucking shadow.
No.
Bro, there's no
Sorry.
leaders in this team. We
He
gave the
is.
armband to
He is.
Colwell.
But if I tell you, yeah, that a right back of your opposing team is cooking your left back, the first thing you're thinking is, where's my left winger that's supposed to be taking that right back on? Where is he?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you think. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's
there's
true.
so many issues in this team.
And that was happening with Cucurella. Do you remember when Cucurella was over there and he was shouting at Sterling, "You're not tracking your runner"? Someone ran on the inside of him because he was trying to deal with the outside ball. I think this might have been against Brentford. I'm not sure. It was a home game at Stamford Bridge, and it's Cucurella constantly 2v1. Sterling's not getting back and helping him. But this guy, I mean, these are the signings when Bowie was going out to Barcelona and having wonderful meals with the high wages of the Koulibalis and the Sterlings and these guys. These are the signings that the new guys have tried to stop because they're like, nope, the wage bill's getting too high. We need to bring it right down. We need to go younger. We need to bring energy into the team. We need to bring promise and potential into the team. And I was watching Younes' review and he just absolutely cooked the whole fucking hierarchy on a stick. I've never seen cooking like this. Man had every single kitchen utensil out. It was insane. The thing is, I don't know where we go from it because I don't even know what Bowie and Egbali stand for. Genuinely, I don't know. Because 1 minute they wanted Ronaldo in the shirt sales and they had to be told on WhatsApp, no, you can't have that. Then they're going for the 16-year-olds. Like, do they care which way we go? Is this sporting director strictly down to their vision? Or are they being told to do this? Because if they are, then we're really screwed because these men are locked into 10 years. I don't know. I really don't know.
The thing we know is the 3 goals that happened, the first 3 today, will keep happening because we've seen them happen all season. Like, surprise, surprise, Caicedo's alone. He gets pressed by 3. The goal happens. The second goal, quick switch of play. Chilwell stuck 2-on-1. Cross comes in. No one tracks a runner. Like, the third goal, you leave Silva with Neto. Like, all of us have good enough football knowledge to talk about tactics. Poch gets paid 10 million a year and he can't see the problems that we're seeing. You can't leave Silva with a high line. Just drop him. Like, if you have, like, I like Silva, but if you're going to play that high line, you have to drop him. Like, why do we have to repeat ourselves? Yet he has a whole coaching staff and himself, yet not one of them see these issues.
But can he afford to drop him? If anything, it looks like he needs to go back to the back 3. He looks like he needs to go back to the back 3. Back 3, protect Silva with 2 wide centre backs, and then go and get Chilwell back on the left wing duties because he can't defend either.
This is why Tuchel was successful. I mean, he knew it from the jump. You can't play Silva at this age. As slow as he's still great, but he's not going to cover up all that ground. You got to play him in a back 3. Simple as that. And it's the only way. It's not just him that needs it. Disasi needs it as well. He needs it as well. They need that back 3.
Otherwise, and we have the profiles for it as well. This is what I don't understand. We haven't all season gone to that formation. Like, we have the profiles. You've got Levi Colwell, you've got Disasi, you've got Silva, you've got Badiashile. They can pass out the back, all of them. They're comfortable on the ball. You can have Enzo and Caicedo in front of them. You have 2 fullbacks. If you want, you can play 1 right winger out.
Ian Maatsen would have been perfect for this role, bro. At Dortmund, Ian Maatsen would have been perfect for that left wing back role. And the only people that are losing out here are the wingers. And come on now, Madueke and Mudryk, really those guys to be missing out, bro. They can hold that.
Mudryk's betting 10 grand on the 1-on-1s with fans these days, which is hilarious. You know what? I knew this guy wasn't serious. The minute he got signed that Chelsea contract, he was following girls on Instagram. Yeah, London girls from Instagram. And I was like, this guy is not a serious fool. You don't take someone from 2.5K to 90K a week, and the first thing he's thinking about coming to a new club is what girl am I gonna find it in London? Like, it is ridiculous what he's doing. Where is the PR training to know you don't respond to fans saying,
Yeah, but bro,
10K
he was filming bum crack. You remember at the gym?
In the gym, yeah, in the gym.
We had Jackson and Astrid Kamikaze a couple of months ago. But these men are immature, bro. But did you know what? They're immature. That's normal at this age. I remember we all must remember being 2021, immature. But there's no leaders in this team to say, fix your shit. You fix your shit. You fix your shit. Yo, put that phone down. I saw that message. Relax yourself. Get back on the... Bro, we don't have no leaders. The armband has been given to Chilwell. Benjamin James Chilwell has the armband at Chelsea Football Club. And Conor Gallagher had the armband. He shouldn't even be a guaranteed starter. He had the armband. Levi Colwell.
Shouldn't.
He's a kid. He was playing half the games at Brighton with Webster, taking the first half of the season. He had the armband.
Mate, Levi
Colwell
admitted not long ago that he was petrified of giving a team talk in the dressing room.
He can't give no team talk. What's Colwell giving a team talk for?
And then he said after he'd done it, he felt better about it and he's going to try and do it more. Like, that's who we're giving the armband to, bro.
Bro.
Do you see where we are? Everyone's made valid points here. Everyone's made valid points on every level, right? That shows how many problems we have.
But bro, we haven't even got into the finances. We've spent $1 billion to get here. To get here. And we don't know what's true and what's not with the finances and all the behind the scenes details because we don't have the numbers. But we're not making European football playing like this. So we're not getting those extra gate receipts at Stamford Bridge. We're not getting that extra TV revenue. We're not getting that prize money. Yeah. And then they're talking about the summer. What are we going to be able to afford? How are we going to sell certain products and certain players from Cobham to get the balance of the books? And it's just we're doing, and I believe them when they say this, we're just biding our time. Because if we were in a strong financial position, we wouldn't have to keep flipping these Cobham talents before they've even done anything. They've not even peaked. Amando Broja, Ian Matson, even if these guys do well at Fulham and Dortmund, they've not even peaked. And we're already trying to flip them because we need this money now. Bring it in now. Get this money in now. Release clause. And clubs know this. And as soon as they cop onto this, they're just gonna be like, you know what, bro? We're either gonna take the little bit of money I'm offering you, or you can sink. Because last season we were selling assets. They got away with it because we were selling first team key members, like people in demand. Saudi was on the move. Saudi were on the prowl. Saudi were taking Kantes and taking Mendy's and whatnot. They're not moving. Saudi have done nothing in January. The Premier League has done nothing, and they're the only league in this world that have money and spend it. Saudi and Premier League. These two leagues have been quiet over January. So if these two leagues don't go mad in the summer and start picking up all these players that we want on these premium prices, these men tried to flog Broja for 50 million, had to humble themselves and take nothing if he played more than 10 games on a loan. If these two leagues don't have bread, where does money come from?
Matisse, and you know what else I think is going to happen in the summer? I think the transfer values are going to go back to their average. I think we've seen 2 windows of where Chelsea went crazy, fees went to a stupid sums, and then clubs now are saying we can't spend. We're not going to spend 70 million for the Crystal Palace centre midfielder. Paulinho is not worth 90 million pounds because the fees are inflated. So all of a sudden, we're going to have to balance out the books at lower fees. So Broja, who would have went for 50, 60 million with a high rep, now we'll go for 30. And you know they've planned for this. The Chalobah briefs are absolutely hilarious. Now he's going to get reintegrated into the squad, apparently. You wanted the player out. You didn't let him play for 4 months. Now what? We're going to see him reintegrated in the squad? Oh, happy days. He's got 5.5 years left on his contract.
The briefings are crazy, bro. I've never seen so much briefing. In the previous ownership, the one thing I'll say is they kept a lid on it. They didn't speak. They didn't say nothing. There was this briefing is crazy. The only time we got a few Rudiger situations, like big bust-ups. Okay, cool, brief everybody. Matt Law will be typing away. But we weren't getting briefs for every single thing. Every single little thing, we're getting briefs constantly.
Fabrizio might as well have Chelsea FC in his bio.
They said Victor
Fabrizio.
they said Victor Osimhen was gonna get, you know, it's gonna get done. Drogba is in on it, Mikel's in on it, and suddenly now they can't pay his wages. Whoop-de-doo. You're not gonna break the wage structure. Also, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo came from Benfica and Brighton on low wages because they had just come from South America the year before. Osimhen's been in Europe for seasons, building his rep, and he's wanted by almost everyone. He's not going to take no measly 100K like these other men. And not to mention, we can't amortize over 8 years anymore because they shut that shit down. It's back to five.
Five only, yeah.
So he's going to cost more than... So even if Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Osimhen all cost similar price, Osimhen costs more to us now because of the amortization rules. He costs more than those two.
Are the club going to understand that?
Yeah,
do you know
I
what I mean? Like, listen, to get players of that standard and that value, you need to pay that sort of money. But we've put ourselves in a situation now where, yeah, legit, it could either be one, the club are actively choosing no because they want to go down this stupid model, or two, they actually don't have the funds and they've blown it. Right. And now we're looking to scrape the bottom of the barrel to try and generate some money because we've literally just piped $1 billion out of the window.
But this is why I say, bros, this has to work. Like, I know Guni's talking about selling everybody and flipping them. If you try sell Mudryk right now, you're making a loss.
Well,
right?
I was just gonna say, bro, they're all on 8-9 year contracts, bro.
I realized that, but
no one's gonna pay money for them.
What do we do? Do we persist on these? Do we persist on these players? And we suffer?
No. You can't loan these guys and then bring in more guys and then just because then the squad gets massive again. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to go down that route.
We have to develop these guys. It's not optional. When you spend $1 billion on Washington's Datro Fofana's, I was saying the other day, Datro Fofana scoring goals at Burnley and Angelo making key passes against PSG. What points does that give us as a football club in this league right now? How many points do we accumulate this weekend for those statistics? How many points do we accumulate this weekend for that? No,
and you know how bad it is. Every week, people are celebrating that rather than our performances. I'm seeing more stats of loan players and people getting copium from that than actually from our performances.
I don't even, if I'm being real with you, I don't even want Chelsea going out splashing a ton of money. Do you know what I mean? My thing is that as a club, we need to find a way, to get number one, those guys fit. The amounts of injuries we had this season has been disgusting. I don't know what's going on, especially in training. Every time we're hearing someone gets injured in training, I wonder what are they like? What are you man doing in training, bro? Like, you man fighting wars in training, or you man, boxing matches, UFC fights? I don't know what's going on in training. Number one. Number two, whoever's going to be manager needs to get more out of these players. Yeah, and I just don't think what we have right now suits Poch. I don't think Poch wants to play what he was doing at Tottenham. We don't have those type of players at Chelsea. He wants Kyle Walkers, Danny Roses, Vertongans, and Alderweireld, Dembele, Wanyama, Sissoko type. That's what he wants. We don't have that here. So we need a manager who is going to play to suit our players. It's as simple as that. And fortunately,
where do you guys expect these players to reach? At what level? And based off what evidence? This is why I have to keep bringing this up. We see Nicholas Jackson, 2 months in Europe, right? Even Caicedo, 6 months of good football at Brighton. We paid 115 M's for him. All these young players.
Matter, though. If you're a good manager, bro, you are a good manager. You get the best out of what we've seen managers do this. We've seen Jose when he came to Chelsea, although he bought some players, but the guys that were there before, their best was one season in the Champions League. All of a sudden, under Jose, they become world-class players. I don't have to tell. 15 league goals conceded in one season. Like, we didn't. If you were around that time, you would have never thought John Terry was going to be that great. No one would have thought Frank Lampard was going to be that great because he was not that good the year before.
Lampard, I agree. John Terry's the them lot. You could see something though. You could even
think William Gallas was going to be that good.
No, I didn't think he was going to be that good. No, I didn't think
Damien Duff was going to be that good. There's a lot. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, sometimes you got to bring in a manager. You got to consider what you've got, right? and you need to go and scout managers who you feel will suit that style of play. You can't bring in a manager, who just wants to play one way or one way only. I think the mistake Chelsea made is Chelsea probably didn't look at Pochettino's time at PSG properly. You looked at, and I didn't either. You go back and look at Pochettino's time at Liverpool, at PSG, he never adjusted. He never adjusted. He never did.
But you know what it is? I always thought with that time, is when you've got Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, as incredible as it sounds from a technical aspect, we knew that the work rate of those three were absolutely garbage. I saw PSG games where that team were basically defending with 8 men. And I was like, regardless of the quality, you should be doing incredible things with that. But that manager and those three were just never going to work. It's just never going to work. He didn't have the prestige and the CV to talk to them, because they need like a Carlo Ancelotti type figure, minimum, to chat to them. And his principles, which he can't bin. Pochettino just can't become a Pep tomorrow. It's not going to happen. He has his principles, and not even his principles. He has his methods and his beliefs. This is how he got to where he is. Coaches don't just switch from Pep to Mourinho to Conte to they do what they do, and that's that. Gengham pressing, Klopp.
Matisse,
everybody's got their identity. His identity and their commitment was never going to work, bro. That's why I just kind of shelved it. We don't have those three. Do you know what I mean? We have young players. We have young players that should be able to press from the front. How can we?
Matisse, you're forgetting one thing.
Not press from the front. Go on.
We got young players with a manager that doesn't like to play young players. Like, if you actually look at it, he's refusing to play David Washington, right? And we paid 18 million for him. What the hell are you paying 18 million for if you can't use him as an emergency number 9?
Well, he didn't pay. That was the board.
That was club. Club. But this is the thing, Matisse. Yeah, it's like you said. I don't understand the date. Players like Washington, Ugo Chukwu, some of these players, I still don't understand why we spend our money on them, innit? But thank God you mentioned Ancelotti, right? If we're keeping it real, 2022, I think it was, he had no right doing what he did. He had no right. He had no right winning the Champions League. He was an underdog in every round that he won. Underdog against PSG, Chelsea, Man City. Who was the final? Liverpool. Underdog.
Yeah.
Their team had no right to win the double. I think they won the double. They had no right. But somehow
AC Milan, the AC Milan team.
No, the Real Madrid team in 2022.
Okay, yeah.
He had because every round he was losing in almost every round. He was losing against us. Somehow he made an adjustment, flipped the tire script. Losing against PSG, made an adjustment, flipped it. Losing against Man City, made an adjustment, flipped it. These are the kind of managers, and remember, everyone was calling him finished from his time at Everton. These are the type of managers we need. We need managers. Okay, if this is not working, all right, cool. It might be time to change this. All right, we need to change things up. Let's move on, blah, blah. Yep. This is what we need. Right now, Poch is not changing anything.
Bro.
Anything.
Sorry, I need to get this off my chest as well. You see the in-game management, that's one thing. Today, what really pissed me off with Poch, that sent me over the edge to say, do you know what? I hold my hands up. I got it wrong. This brother's not... Even if you don't sack him tonight and you sack the sporting directors first, bring in the director, and he sacks him, long term, this guy's not it. He was sitting on that bench all game. He didn't get up once. I saw Gary O'Neill standing up, barking instructions, constantly trying to chat to all of the players. After he was instructing, and I'm not trying to do the performative thing. I'm not the person that wants the manager to rush into the crowd and go. You can do that as an extra curriculum activity if you wish. I don't demand that. But you've got to be up on your feet trying to fix things, not just sitting there with your feet up and saying, "Oh, well, there's nothing I could do, bro." Do something. You must fight for your life, bro. Try and change things.
This is my main problem.
Against Liverpool, we were losing. Sorry, against Liverpool, we were losing. The first 15 minutes, we were getting clapped. 20 minutes clapped. No change, no shape. Go to a back three. Do something, bro. Nothing's happening. You gotta do something. You have to. Sorry.
This is my main problem with Poch. My main issue is I can sympathize with the fact that, you know, we've called out the issues on players and all of that. It's true. To be honest, though, like, we do need some level of experience in this team. If we're using the examples of previous teams and we're talking about like 2004 and the players that people didn't expect would do well, they still had reference to fall back on with some of the players in that team. And even those players that came into the Chelsea team and where they came from. If we're talking like JT alongside Carvalho came from Porto, who won the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like there's references that these players. JT grew up next to Desai. There's things that helped, you know, for the team even at a young age to be able to get going. But we need that experience. Poch, what winds me up about him is that it just looks like from what we heard at the start of the season to now, it's like he's just accepting everything. It's like he's taking all the punches and the slaps and he's just like, okay. But the start of the season was all about winning. And he told us everything we wanted to hear, right? But the actions have completely contradicted his words. And then he's almost falling in line with all the PR that we're hearing, and he's falling in line with the excuses, and he's pushing one out, and then he changes it one week, and then he puts out it again another week, and then he changes it again. And it's just like he's just going along with it and trotting along with it. And for me, that's just cowardly. Listen, if something is not going your way, if you demand experience or you demand a certain thing and you're not getting it, mate, listen, if you make it, not saying flipping explode in front of the press and go crazy, but if you make it obvious enough, trust me, we as fans have done it before, we'll end up backing you.
Bro,
we're not
stupid.
We will see the situation and we will go, no, you know what? Poch ain't getting backed here. We're completely behind him like we did before. Done it with Jose, done it with Conte, done it with Tuchel. We're not dumb, but he's just looked like he's taken the coward's way. He's just going along with it. And that's the problem with Chelsea. It's just a bunch of yes men that are operating this whole scandal, which has resulted in the team getting to where it is right now. A bunch of young lads with nothing to show for it and no experience around them to guide them. And a manager that's just accepting it.
There's so many managers in this league that are tactically on point, or they have a mad plan. It might not always work, but they got a plan, bro. And that's where I've given up the goose chase, because I'm like, bro, you can't stink in all these categories. We're getting overloads out wide. We can't defend set pieces. We can't defend in open play. We can't do build up. The press is not that good. Like, come on, bro. How many things we gonna stink at? Do you know what I mean? It's just insane. We're all of the consensus that things have to change. But if we were to sack him tonight, right? If he was to be sacked tonight, who comes in? There's no Gus Hiddink, you know, white and shining in armor, who that will just come and, you know, make things all better until the end of the season. Who do we bring in? Like, that's the problem.
It needs to be an interim, and then you go for the next. You know how when we hired Jose, how Jose was a big fish, but he wasn't made yet. We need someone like that. Like, for example, I like the Sporting manager, Amorim. He's had 5 years at Sporting. He's won one league title. He's won multiple cups. He's won with Braga. He's first in his league, Europa League deep runs. He's got a winning culture of 70% win rate with a team that's the third best in that league. You've got the Benfica managers available. We need to get someone that comes in, plays attacking football, in my opinion, with these players that suits them. But it can't be someone that was good in the past and was hiring of status of the past. Like, I know a lot of people want Jose. I don't. Like, Jose hasn't made top 4 in 7 years. Well, like, what's going to change from those 7 years to now? Like, they're not going to get him the players he wants anyway. So you're just going to ask him to evolve at his later stage. And this is where the problem is.
Are you basing some of that off his time at Roma?
But Roma and Spurs. Because I'm seeing what Angel's doing now at Spurs. I'm seeing what, like, his Roma squad, yes, he had money for the first year, but then after that, he was getting loan signings. But they've got the third highest wage bill. So the loans and the free agency was signing were Hassem Aouars, Renato Sanchez's, Lukaku's, Dybala's. Dybala's been a success. Lukaku's been a success. But the others, like, they played horrible football. They parked the bus, and we wouldn't accept it. Like, I promise you now, like, within 4 months, we'd be like, yeah, this isn't the right appointment, because it works in cups, but it doesn't work in league ties. So I feel like they have to make a progressive signing of a next manager. Someone that's a long-term solution, not a short-term one. But then what do you do now because no one's available? So, like I said beforehand, like, I don't know what the right answer is. Whatever they do is wrong. Like, whatever they do is wrong. Like,
there's going to be so many managers floating about in the summer, but surely a director of football has to make that decision. Because if we put it like this, if we make another managerial decision under these two sporting directors,
yeah,
I mean, Can we even? I mean, my issue with them is that it's the blind leading the blind. It started off with Todd Bowie and Egg Bally. They were blind sticks.
They signed the sporting director from Brighton, and they signed the sporting director from Monaco, which have done what exactly over the past how many years?
At the top level, what have these guys built? Right? They've built feeder clubs, or they've built profit clubs. Young players come in, young player go out, profit. We flip and we roll again, which is what we're becoming.
I think me and you wanted Campos.
Oh, Campos was
Campos.
always, yeah, I've always been a big fan of Campos. Yeah, big fan of Campos. Always been a big fan of Campos. But he went to PSG. But like we need, so then these guys are leading the blind, and these blind people are leading the blind, which is the manager who thinks he's doing a Liverpool 2.0. He said it in his pre-match press conference. Brother, they're trying to sell who you rate. They're trying to sell who you value, and they're not giving you what you need. How is that a Liverpool 2.0? In what world?
Do you remember in November when he said, I'm going to have more power in January? And then 2 weeks before the January window opened, there was like briefs from Ornstein. Nope, the directors are doing their own thing.
But he keeps saying everything's fine. I'm happy. When the January window closed, he said, yeah, Broja can go on loan. He compared him to Harry Kane the week before.
Bro,
and then he says,
last week he was excited.
Last week he was Harry Kane. Now he can.
He was excited.
Sorry,
now asked him how do you find at Chelsea. Yeah. I'm exciting.
Now he can go to Fulham on loan, and we can keep Washington. In Cuckoo up front today, he's not a striker. So let's just cross him off the striker options. So now we have Jackson and Washington. Washington doesn't play. So now we have Jackson and who? Palmer? We don't have any strikers. Our squad got weaker over January. Then we needed to get stronger. We got weaker. We let go of Maatsen, and we let go of our only other striker who's played at Premier League level. He's not good. He was awful while Jackson was at AFCON, but he's the only other option we had. And Maatsen,
that
Jackson more than capable of playing for Chilwell. More than capable of playing for Chilwell was Maatsen.
The Maatsen loan irritates me by every passing week more and more. Like, you didn't rate him because of his height and because of his defensive acumen. What on earth does Ben Chilwell offer? Like, Ben Chilwell doesn't do anything defensively that Maatsen wouldn't be able to do, but he does a lot more going forward purely based on the fact that he's comfortable in possession under press. He's a good dribbler, and he's got a good cross on him. Like, Ben literally offers nothing at this moment in time, apart from a few hair flicks and just smiling and coming out today. The commitment wasn't there. Like,
how can you say
excuse? The first thing, like, I hate the commitment wasn't. You just got whooped 4-1. If anyone's meant to have commitment, it's you.
Bro. They wanted it more than
us. How can that be possible? Where is the tactical talk from the manager? Mad. Where's the accountability as well? We're not hearing it. I'm not hearing anything, any detail. Everything is always about commitment and fight and grit. Every time I hear a manager talk like this, I know that they're long gone in the head. You're not speaking on anything in terms of detail. You're talking to us like we're dense. Like, where is the detail in the tactical decisions and the changes?
He's been taking, bro. He's been taking
the piss out of us. The effort,
bro. He's been taking the piss out of us. He's been telling us all season that this blonde Alsatian in the middle of our midfield is the best player on our pitch. He's been the best player on our club. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's unacceptable, fam. Absolutely unacceptable, bro. Like, he's pulling the wool over our eyes as well. This is why Pochettino doesn't help himself. He's definitely complicit. But the thing is that I'm not going to be naive and say this is all down to the manager. It's all down to the manager. Yeah, because really and truly, a lot of you lot are not going to want to hear this, but I think he's the smallest problem in the equation. And that's a big, big statement. A big statement.
I agree.
How glaringly wrong he's still getting stuff.
I agree with you.
So if you had to rank the biggest issues for you that you would want to resolve first, what would it be?
Well, if number one was realistic, then I would list that, and that's obviously the owners. But that's very unrealistic that we're going to get them out of this club. It's just not going to happen.
It's in order of power.
Yeah, it is. And then following that,
sporting directors, manager.
Yeah, exactly. That's the precise order that I was just going to say.
What the mess that happens on the top trickles down to the bottom, which is also why we have to acknowledge this. Why there's also the problems that we're seeing on the pitch. Even if we were, I would say even to a level, if we were tactically set up well and whatnot, I think if the issues that we have at the club are still present, it trickles down. If you're in an unstable environment, especially with these young lads who don't know, their A's from B's and C's, it's gonna affect everybody. And right now, you can't tell me that working, not just playing, working at Cobham is a nice place to be at right now. Best believe, I guarantee people are hating their lives over there right now. And it all stems from the top. It all stems from the culture and the way things have been set at the top. It's just been a circus. And this is the thing, and this is why I always try to nail down. It's not just one problem. We haven't just got one issue. Before, it would always be one issue. Like, we have one problem. We can go back and remember, oh yeah, we had the problem with our DM. We needed to fix one. We need a DM. That's it. Get us a DM. We are good to go, right? Do you remember that? Or, before that, you had one issue with the doctor. It was one issue with the club doctor and Jose, and it kicked off, and that was it. That is what caused the one problem. It was always one problem, right? We've got problems at ownership level. They don't know what they're doing. We're using data and AI like we're flipping obsessed with it. We are issues at directors. They don't know what they're doing. Issue with the manager. He turns into a coward. We got players that are young and don't know what they're doing. There's no experience in the team. It's just problem. It's a mess. It's a circus. And can it be fixed?
The thing is, if you sign a good manager, he could paper over a lot of the cracks. I'll take you back to when we hired Tuchel, right?
Yeah.
You remember then we wanted a lot of these, man. A lot of the players out. We wanted Rudiger out. Kepa, I mean, he's coming back and we'll want him.
Fuck, bro,
so he's a lost cause.
Remind me about Kepa, bro, please.
we wanted Rudiger out. We wanted Christensen out. We wanted Jorginho out. Some people wanted Kante out, if you remember. Some people saying, "Oh, sell him to Inter Milan, sell him blah blah. He's past his sell by date," right?
Yeah.
And obviously the issue with the attackers. But you brought then obviously they sacked Lampard and they brought in Tuchel. Tuchel came in. He looked at the squad he had, and he found a formula that could just get at least the maximum out of the squad he had. So sometimes all it is you get a manager who looks at your players and can get something out of them, and it could do something. Do you know what I mean? And I would say the best time will be the summer. Okay, the summer, Silva's leaving. Cool. Silva's leaving. That's all right. Get a manager in and get one good defender. Good defender who is quick enough to sweep up, because we desperately need that. And obviously, we work on the fitness of our players. And then a manager that can work with the likes of Enzo and Caicedo and not have Enzo up against the defensive line of the opponent, wherever the hell he's playing. It's disgraceful. And all of a sudden, you could have a different type of team. I just feel like you have to... But I don't know what the owners are going to do, because I don't even know their thought process behind a lot of the stuff they do. I'm going to keep it real. I don't know.
What's the highest? Even, let's say hypothetically now, we had a manager of the ilk of, your Peps, the best managers around. How high do you feel that this squad can finish in the Premier League?
Everyone stays fit.
If you have a Klopp, if you got a Klopp or Guardiola, that man can win a league with this team, bro. I tell you that.
I can't agree.
You can disagree, but even the other day, I was saying this in the space earlier on. Like, I was watching Endo before he went to the Asian Cup with whichever country he's from, innit? Thinking, I'm watching Endo, who I thought was a scrub. Yeah, I'm watching the way Klopp has transformed this guy, and I'm thinking, raw, like. And when I mean win the league, I don't mean right now. Like, we're forgetting how long it took Klopp to get to where he got to, and he only won one league title. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it took him 4 years or 5 years, and he only won one league title. So let's not act like he. You know,
but there's one caveat that's missing here. Is that this guy had a squad of more than 2 or 3 over 25s in the squad. Jurgen Klopp and Pep. We have got like 2 or 3 players that are post 25.
And also, I think it's fair to say Klopp has built 3 title-winning teams.
But I hate to be this guy and defend.
Might have picked it up, but brother went all the way to the 90, 96, 97 points, 92 points. Like, if you do that at my club, I know people want to do the banter thing, right? But this is a serious meeting. This is a serious meeting. We've won the same amount of trophies as Liverpool since he's arrived. But let's not kid ourselves. We know who the better team has been in that time. in that time period.
100%.
They've been to
But
two
think about
Champions
it, though,
League. They've been to
Matisse.
2 Champions League finals. No, 3 Champions. Is it 3 Champions League finals and lost 2?
They lost
Or
2. They lost
They've
2.
lost 2, right? They've lost 2 Champions League finals. We went to 1, and we haven't even been to the semi-finals outside of that since when Mourinho was here and he lost to Atletico Madrid. They've been in like 4 title races. We've not been in 1 since Conte.
But
Let's keep that a buck. You know what I mean?
So until it took it all it took for Klopp, yeah. Although he had Mane, Salah, they were doing their thing. But then, man, where did they finish until he bought Van Dijk and Alisson? Where did they finish?
I think they were floating in like the 4th or something like that.
4th or 5th.
5th, whatever. They were floating around them positions. It wasn't until he just bought those 2 players, he transformed the whole team to title contenders, and they won the Champions League with them. So sometimes it just takes a couple players in the right position to transform your team, bro. You don't necessarily need. I disagree with you need a whole squad. No, good manager
the spine's needed. I think
players.
the spine is definitely needed. But what I do agree with Guni is that when you look at the overall squad in terms of the not even just the ability, but the maturity and the mentality, I think it's very broken. The mentality of the team is fragile and it's very weak. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no grown-ass men in there. And I think, yes, I think 3 or 4 of the... And the thing is, the key here is that you're mentioning the 3 or 4 have to be nailed on, bang on, like, W's in terms of sign. Like, bro, you can't get that wrong. Do you know what I mean? If you're getting that goalkeeper, that's got to be Alisson. You're getting that centre-back, that's got to be Van Dijk. You're getting that... But the thing is, we can't afford... We've spent $1 billion.
Going to do that.
We've spent $1 billion, and we're talking about going to get record-breaking, spine-defining players. These players
don't
cost nothing. They're
Matisse,
not
they're looking
a
to
good
spend
manager
the
and a good manager pushes Nkunku to become world class. A good manager, if James is fit, that's another world class player. But a good manager takes Enzo and Caicedo to the level that they were when we signed them, and even better because they've got more experience and maturity. Hence why I'm of the camp. You need 2 players in this team, or maybe 3 if you want a new keeper. You need a 9, you need a centre back, and you need a new keeper. Matson at left back would have worked. Or you get a defender, someone else at left back that can play. Because if you get those through, they just elevate the level of the team with a good structure. I think so many of our problems right now are structural. And once you plaster those cracks and add a bit more quality, the team jumps from being 7th, 6th to top 3, and then it's about developing. Like, this is why I think the next appointment has to be integral. Like, it's integral for the next appointment.
It worries me who this manager rates, though, because he didn't rate Matson. He wants to build around Gallagher. It's very concerning.
Bro, he doesn't want to start Enzo, by the way. Let's talk about
he doesn't like Enzo.
He doesn't like Enzo. I know that. He doesn't like Enzo.
I don't think it's a personal thing. It's not. It's an athletic thing. It's an athletic thing. He doesn't. Matson, it was clear from day one. It's like Tuchel and Billy Gilmore, the same thing. It's the height and athleticism thing. That's all it was. I don't think he hates Matson. I just think he just wasn't, tall and strong enough for him. I think that's what it was. So it's clear. Like, he had Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, and we know how much of a beast those guys were. Do you know what I mean? If you guys remember how good they were, so that's all it is. I'm gonna keep it. That's what it was with Matson. It's a shame because Matson is a baller and he's gonna go on to probably be a very good player. But I think it's just the athleticism thing, man. It's a shame.
See, this is, to an extent, it's a valid point, I reckon, because look, it just goes to show we have completely misprofiled everything. We've got a manager that can't use a player like Enzo. He doesn't want to, but we've got Enzo in the team. We bought him. We've got sporting directors that are getting players. Poch isn't really approving, but it's everyone's going in their own direction. It's a flipping. Yeah. It's a free for all.
Yeah.
This is and look, even if we get to the extent where we try to say we got a manager and we try to get players in or whatnot. All right, cool. Who's getting those players in? Is it going to be this manager, or is it going to be Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, and they're going to go and pick out the next 18 or 19-year-old they can get from data? Is that what we're going to do?
That's what they do. That's the directors make that decision, and the managers just have to go with what they're given.
Yeah.
Who hired De Zerbi? Who hired De Zerbi at Brighton? Was it Winstanley?
I don't know. I
believe so, but I don't know. I don't know if it's Bloom that calls the
I was
shots.
going to
over
say,
there.
I think that was Tony Bloom.
Bloom is the CEO of Brighton. I feel like he calls the shots. I feel like Win
Yeah,
Stanley
yeah.
was always just a recruiter in terms of players, and
Yeah,
we've
he was.
promoted these guys to a level of you're going to now oversee the club in terms of a day to day, and I don't think they're qualified for that. To be honest,
Yeah,
I really
this is a
don't.
mess, man.
This
This
is
is
the
a
thing.
mess.
It's a complete mess. This is why, like, even if we were to get, all right, we get the next manager in, this is to an extent in defense of Poch, because it can be anybody in this role, then it's still going to be these two directors that are above him that are going to be aligning with the ownership to do what they want to do and not necessarily what the manager wants or has a decent input in, or is going to go along with it, at least with his approval. He's just going to have to nod along and go, okay. And if he doesn't, he's going to have to kick off and still get sacked anyway. It's a mess. It's a mess. This team right now and these young players, for me, are screaming for players, and it doesn't have to be experience based on age. I think that's a misconception. Experience based on players, even if they're young, that have had a certain standard in their career that can come and make a difference today. That these players can play alongside and develop. If not, they're not going to develop. There's a misconception here as well. I feel like if we keep these players the way that they're going, they're all just going to stagnate. They'll turn into a bunch of Theo Walcotts. All of them. They're just going to stop exactly where they are, because who's showing them? Who's making them grow? Who's alongside them that's going to push them to the level where they're going to have to be pushed to? No one. On a technical and physical level. It's bonkers.
Bellingham, Camavinga,
Those are the type
Tchouameni.
of players. Musiala.
Musiala, these
Exactly.
men get dropped into like world-class squads with leaders and with like legends of the game around them. Same way our young players in maybe 05, some of them 04, got dropped into some serious squads. And they learn, they pick up in training. When we talk about developing players learn from players. They say it all the time. They speak about 100%. It in interviews with journalists. It's not just about the manager. It's also about who's around you. Who does Mudryk and Madueke learn from right now? Sterling. Who do they learn from? They don't learn from
exactly that.
There was a great quote from Angelo and Santos in preseason. They said as soon as they got to the training ground, Silva took the Brazilian kids under his wing. And he said, you'll eat with me, you'll train with me. We don't have enough of those players to be doing that for the young kids. And you set a precedent. And with the Camavinga and Tchouameni signings, I remember when they first started, they struggled, both of them. And they were eased into the squad. And we've got players expected to come in and just pick up the ball and start running with it. Like, it doesn't work like that.
That's a really good example. Did Madrid chop off Modric, and did they chop off Cruz, and did they sell all these guys to try and generate as much money as possible and just leave it up to players like Tchouameni and Camavinga? No. These players are still there, even right now, supporting now the transition's been made. This is why this model has never worked in the history of football. And I think as Chelsea fans, we had hope at the beginning, I think, based on the fact that we are Chelsea fans, that we are looking to, okay, let's see what happens with that. It's more like faith going in with it rather than actual like logic of the situation. Now we've realized. But this is why this model's never worked before. And I don't think it will ever work, ever. It's bonkers. And there's a chance to change it, I feel. But now that we're hearing about financial constraints and all that, maybe we've actually blown it. Who knows?
I think the financial constraints is nonsense, personally. I feel
it could be. It could be. We still don't know.
They said this last season. They said the exact same thing last season. Oh, Chelsea have to sell. I mean, of course, we got to sell players. Of course. Chelsea have to sell players or blah, blah, this and that. They did this last season. And the season before, we saw the reports that we were going into administration, blah, 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 blah. So I think as long as we sell players, we're good, which clearly we have enough players to sell regardless. If we're looking, my thing is, though, is okay, you're looking at Osimhen, which will cost 100 mil. You're looking at Diamonde, Todibo, that's 60 to 80 mil. It's a lot of money. Again, those guys, as talented as they are, they're young. They're very young. And that's the part that worries me again. Like, you're still looking at, and Diamonde and Todibo is to replace Thiago Silva. It's like, come on, man.
I agree.
And they're two different profiles.
I agree.
They're two different profiles. One plays in the middle of a back three, is 19 years old, has played 40 league games in his whole career. Diamonde. Yeah. The other one has played 4 or 5 seasons and he's 24 years old, but at the same time, his highest level has been Nice because we're not going to count his stint at Barcelona.
Barcelona,
Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
work.
we're
I
not
think
gonna-
he had didn't work out Barcelona. He did have a lot of injuries, but he has been good. Let me not lie, for the past couple seasons at Nice. But at the same time, it's like you said, at the highest level, he didn't cut it. Are you going to take that gamble? Do you know what I mean? And he's, I just don't know. I just don't know. It might be, I don't know, man. So it's just like, we got to be
It's
careful.
worrying. Yeah, it's really worrying because
Very.
I feel like the next window will be so decisive in the sense where the club is for the next 5 to 10 years, or 3 to 5, like, if we're being honest. Because there could be so much more damage done where the recovery stage is going to be even longer. Because how long until the players that are showing us some sort of light want to leave? Like, for example, how long until Cole Palmer says, you know what,
This was
Loki
a
had a great
mistake.
season. Yeah, this was a mistake. Enzo, Caicedo's agents get on the phone and say, I didn't sign up for this. Reece James miraculously turns fit and goes, yeah, I kind of need
Real
to go to
Madrid.
Man City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's flirting with Real Madrid as well. Let's not get that twisted. Nearly under every single one of their social media posts, vamos, vamos, vamos. Yeah, football is a short-term career. It's a short career.
It's true.
And players want to win trophies. So I agree with what you're saying, Kavkas. I agree with it, bro. It's not going to be long before Enzo, because they've got no loyalty to the clubs, none whatsoever. The only one really we're talking here is Reece James, because he's an academy boy. But even him, he's going to want to go. Enzo's going to want to go. Caicedo's going to want to go. Cole Palmer's eventually going to want to go. You don't want to stay in a sinking ship for too long. It's not the Titanic, bro. You saw what happened to the people that on the Titanic.
And then who's going to replace these guys? Kids.
This is the point. This is the thing. This is why I think we have to ask the question now. Like, what is the intention? What is
your intention with our football club?
What's the vision? Are you genuinely here just for finances, or are you actually looking to get some sort of success? Because this is where
Younes,
you
what
could
finances you make from losing?
Say again?
What finances would they make from losing consistently? Like, this club's going to get devalued in value every year we're not in Europe.
It's funny, but yeah, based on history, but based from when they've come into the club and started investing their money, you can ask Spurs. They've got a new stadium though, but they were making it up. West Ham are in the top 10, I think, or top 15 of richest clubs right now. I mean, you can, based on just generating profit. Do you know what I mean? Just on a money level, just profit. I agree. Success gets you more money as well on top. But for these guys, I'm scared that they're actually just looking at it from a red and black sort of perspective, or red and green, however you want to put it. Like, are we in the red or are we in the green? If we're in the green, great. Okay, that's what I'm bothered about. I don't care how much we're in the green, fantastic. We can take it and run. Like, if that's their intention and they're trying to just flip players and try and get young players in so then they can sell later for high value, they're doing all this, we're in the mud. So what is the intention? What is the intention that they want to move forward with? Because only then can we know, are we serious to go and get, for example, a proper sporting director or a proper manager, start moving on a footballing level? Are we going to put things in place that we know is going to help the club succeed? Are we going to go and get the experience that we need because we know on a footballing level we have to? Or are we going to keep scouting tons of 16-year-olds from,
Younes, the directors, even before that, the philosophy has to change. Because
100%.
the philosophy apparently starts with the owners. And if they're going to keep persisting with this, we're going to sign players that are south of 25 years old in the expectation that they're going to develop into world beaters. We're going to find ourselves in this perpetual circle going round and round and round until they make that decision. And then after that decision, they hire a sporting director who is capable of delivering the correct players at the level that we need. It's going to be a perpetual circle. And even then, once that sporting director comes in, it's up to them to somehow get rid of what we don't need at the club for us to take steps forward. Do you realize how much time it's going to take if these things happen? There's so many ifs that need to occur before we can even take the correct step into the right direction. This is where we're at right now. There's so many things that needs to be done in increments, in stages, but there's no guarantee that it's going to happen. So where does that leave us?
Exactly.
In mid-table.
That's what I'm scared of. That's the fear, and that's why we are where we are right now.
And they've essentially recreated the job that they've done in their career, right? Brighton were mid-table, and it was a great accomplishment. And we're mid-table, and they're recreating the level of what they've done in their track. So we're going to have to give them time, potentially, to see if they can grow into the role, sadly. But it's going to be a lot of emergency meetings. So, Matisse, you have my number, man.
That makes me feel very ill. You're saying let them grow into the role. There's a lot of man growing right now. There's what is this, a flower bed? Everybody's growing, bro. Like players,
Exactly.
manager, the sporting directors, owners, everybody's growing. It's mad. It's crazy.
There was a quote from Gabali a few days ago saying they believe they could alter a few things from the Roman era and it would have worked straight away. I don't know how they think this is a few things altered. Like, said this is a mad change in identity of the club from head to toe, like completely different.
How long do we think it is, before I go super chats, how long do we think it is before the fans at Stamford Bridge start to put up the resistance? Because
it started
a while ago.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about real resistance. I'm talking about they're outside writing like Super League shit.
After what we heard today at the bridge, that's I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting what we heard today at the bridge today.
Okay, I didn't hear anything because I was at it on mute.
I was on watch. I started seeing the videos and I started seeing the clips and the boos at halftime, boos at full time, chance for Roman Abramovich, chance against Todd Bowley. Today was the first time I was like, whoa. I thought they'd come after the cup final. If we lose the cup final, I thought it'd come then. But it started today. So, listen, look at our fixture list.
The fixture list is mad.
We got Villa next in the cup.
We have to travel to Villa twice. Yep. One in the cup, one in the league. Man City travel, Arsenal travel, Tottenham United at home, Newcastle at home, I think.
Well, forget about these teams that are flying. Who's confident we're going to get a result at Palace away?
They're going to have a new manager by then.
Depends if Elise is fit or not. Elise
but this is the thing: are any of you guys going into any games with any kind of confidence? Because I ain't. It doesn't matter who we're facing. I feel like this moment in time, any one of the 19 teams in the Premier League can beat us on their day.
Especially after today. Today was low.
And what did Poch say? He said they don't need to just physically recover. We need to recover mentally.
They're playing once a week. Imagine this with European football. These guys are playing once a week and they need to mentally recover from one game a week. I know they played twice a week recently because we've had some cut games, but majority of the season they're playing once a week and they just had a winter break.
I'm not even sure they even like tactically they know what they're doing or supposed to do. Sometimes they just all look confused. Like,
it does
feel like that.
It does.
So I don't even know.
And it's very evident when we can see, like when we go behind, because then players start going for Hollywood passes and the principals go like, when we have Tuchel or when like Man City go behind, it's very methodical. It's the 83rd minute. They're still popping it around and the commentator's like, oh, you should be putting it in the box. But with us, I have no clue what's methodical for us. Like, what is the method to get it out the back into the middle and then to build it up? There literally is no plan. It's give it to Cole Palmer, and if he makes it work at age 22 with less than 50 starts, then happy days. Like, I was against the signing, and the reason I was against the signing is because I was saying we need experience. Like, the fact that he came in and hit the ground running it's crazy.
It's a miracle, really.
It's a miracle.
But how long until that wears off?
Exactly. That's my problem.
Exactly.
How long until he just becomes part of everything else?
All individuals.
Yeah. How long until he just becomes part of the furniture?
Yeah.
So wait, I'm guessing all of us want him sacked tomorrow morning, right? So what would your solution be?
I want the director sacked. I want the director sacked first. If he's sacked and the directors are not sacked, I've got a problem.
I agree. They all need to go at the same
time. I
think
all three of them go, or the directors both go, and then the new director comes in and then they assess it and they decide what to do.
Yeah, I agree.
But then who takes the games if this is the issue?
At this point, we've got nothing to lose. Literally, I don't know, give it to who have we got in the staff? I don't know. Give it to someone. For the meantime, give it to someone. This can't continue though, because look, realistically, if we're being real, if this was last season, it would actually be, I think, in terms of the league table, a little bit more desperate because the bottom three are worse this year than they were last year, I reckon. This year, we are actually far off from the relegation zone, I think. We're far off from where we need to be, but we're far off from the relegation zone. So there's a bit of leeway that you can play with. In that meantime, yeah, just make the changes now. We're not making European football. We're not getting relegated. Might as well at least
second season in a row, and we're ditching European football. Ditching European football in Feb.
Bro, this is an Arsenal level season. Like,
I don't think Arsenal were never this bad.
Worse.
This is worse.
Yeah,
Arsenal,
this is worse.
If Arsenal finish 8th, that means they could have made Europe.
Yeah, it was 8th, 5th, and then 2nd.
we are ruling off Europe. I had to rule it out today personally because I saw our fixtures and I saw we're not on it. Like I thought before today, I thought we can catch West Ham, we can catch 6th place, we can be Europa League, but we have got to perform to do it. After losing to Wolves at home, if you can lose 4-2 at home to Wolves, where it could have been 5 or 6, you're not getting European football. You're just not.
And the losses aren't even the Nottingham Forest losses. You know, the ones where it's one mistake and they scored, we were dominating the whole game.
Yeah, it's not even that.
This was a proper 50-50 game for the first half an hour, and then they took over.
I think since the turn of the new year, we've been getting. There's been games where, so is it even because even Everton was quite a pamming as well.
Yeah.
Man United was horrible.
Man United was. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I felt physically ill after that game, bro. It was
that one was worse than Liverpool. For me, that one was worse than Liverpool.
Because you know Man United are not that good. Yeah, because you know Man United are not that good. That's why. At least Liverpool are top of the league. That one was painful. That was painful.
So sometimes you just got to look at it and you're just thinking, has Poch just run out of ideas or what? Like it's like he has nothing left in the tank.
Starting to think he doesn't have that many ideas.
Yeah, and obviously it's clear teams have figured us out. Let's keep it real. They figured us out. They know how we're gonna play. They know what to do, when to hit us as well. So it's just like, where do we? I think now the owners and they have to look at Poch now and just think you've got nothing for us anymore. Sorry, we thought you were gonna be here, whatever, but you haven't really got anything for us. Do you know what I mean?
And you can't say they haven't been patient with him. They haven't. They have been very patient with him. Like,
the thing is, though, the thing is, though, I feel like I don't even want to spin it like with them looking down on him, because if I was the manager, I'd be looking at you like, I've been patient with you, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm looking up at the owners like, what are you lot actually doing? We ain't got no striker, guys. We ain't got a striker that can head the ball. We don't have a striker that can finish. We don't have a striker in the team. And Cuckoo's not a striker. These guys are... It's negligence.
He's not a striker, but he's the best finisher we got at the club.
Yeah, he is. He is the best finisher.
He's a very good finisher. But even today, look at the way they played him. Completely isolated. How many times
he was up against 3 centre-backs? He got killed. 3 centre-backs.
How many times did he touch the ball? Like, it was horrible. I felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
And this is the issue I have. I don't want that cycle of, because this is what happens. A lot of players come in, they're all bright and you know how their brilliance before they came here, and then they come to Chelsea and just lose all confidence, and that's it. They're done. We know how good of a player Nkunku is. The 2 goals he scored this season have been brilliant goals. You know what I mean? Top class finishes. He's not a player I want us to just make him lose all confidence and he's done. I really don't want that with guys like him, guys like Palmer. These are brilliant players that can really do things for this club. Do you know what I mean? So we have to be... Chelsea have to be very careful. They have to be very, very careful, man.
Bro, in a 4-2-3-1, just think about it. Sterling and Nkunku, Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo. You give that to a competent manager. You don't think he can get at least top 4 out of those 5? Like, the makings are there. It's just we're not utilizing it.
Can Nkunku even stay fit? This is my problem with only having Jackson as a striker. Like, who's to say that Nkunku's not going to be injured in 2 weeks? Who's to say that Carney's not going to be injured in 2 weeks? To join Okechukwu and Lavia and James, like, it's mad.
That's another thing. We've got injuries every 2 minutes. And I understand, I think right now we're getting players back and we're not in as bad of a position as we were prior. But the amount of injuries we've had is crazy. And why? You know, we actually don't know. Is it training? Is it the methods? Is it the medical team? Is there something going on at Cobham? Like, we actually don't know. But the one thing for sure, and I think the original problem stems from that, is when we gutted everything and everyone out, medical team included, everything changed. Everything changed. And all of a sudden, it's just all got to click and work together. It's crazy.
There's been a lot of unanswered reasons as to why a lot of our players got injured. Like, if you remember, Carney came back months ago, and all of a sudden he disappeared for a few months. And
now
Nkunku
Donny has to
back.
change the way he's running, apparently.
Yeah, and Nkunku came back. He disappeared. Fofana, he was there for pre-season, and all of a sudden he went out, and we haven't seen him since. Like, so I don't know what's going on.
I think with Fofana, we can agree he was injury prone anyway before that.
He was, but he didn't even get injured during a game or anything. Maybe it was training. I don't know.
I think,
because if you remember, the pictures were out of him training during pre-season, and then the news just came out that something happened, and he's out.
Bro, the worst one is Lavia and Ogochukwu. Ogochukwu came back, pulled a hamstring. They were like, oh, it could be a couple weeks. Now it looks like it's a couple months. Lavia, there's no communication.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a bruise be that bad. This is Kawhi Leonard.
We saw him for 10 minutes, was it? 10 minutes we saw Lavia for in a Chelsea shirt. He looked decent as well. Yeah, she looked all right.
and even when even when he came on, it was a bit of a confusion because we don't know where he was playing or what he was supposed to do.
No idea what he was doing when he came on.
But even him, like you said, he injured, disappeared. No one knows what his injury is. There's no time frame. There's nothing. Just all silence.
It's mad.
So I don't know with Chelsea, man. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just
you know what we're gonna do? Well, somehow we're gonna beat Villa, and then we're gonna beat Palace. And then
does anybody have any confidence about that? I don't have no confidence.
I'll tell you, they're gonna find a way to win those.
I went to the Villa game at home. We were the better side, in my opinion. I thought, okay, we might be able to, but we didn't take our chances. I was like, oh, okay, we might be able to do something over there. I saw Newcastle go there and beat them away. I was like, okay, we might. But this last game has absolutely flattened me, like proper slap in the face. Like I can't see how we go to Villa right now. We're not ready for that. We're just not ready.
I think normally the reason why, obviously, like a lot of the games, the reason why we've continued on and done decent in the next games, because sometimes it's been losses where we've been the better team, but against the balance of play, teams have just a good counter attack on mistakes, and they've gone to score and they won the close shot and they won the game, innit? Well, this one, their heads dropped. Yeah. They were morally just mentally destroyed. Absolutely and it started from Liverpool. It started from Liverpool. It's continued today. I think under Poch they're done. I don't think there's any way.
No, I don't think so either. You know when sometimes you say, oh, if you lose, you're like, oh, I can't wait for the next game to put it right. I am not thinking like that. I'm thinking these might need to go into another 2-week break. I don't know where, Dubai or I don't know, send them wherever, and they need to get to work tactically again. But that's insane, right? Because this team's had so much time to prepare. They've had a preseason, etc. Like, thankfully for once, I can't see an accumulation of fixtures helping us. I can't see minimum gap between fixtures helping us prepare, be ready tactically or mentally. I can't see it. Because these players, the way that they walked, the way that they went off against in that Wolves game, they look like they're Silva, honestly. Did you guys see Bella's tweet? I don't know how your thoughts are on Bella. Bella's tweeting again. We got Bella tweeting again. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Silva, every time the camera pans to Silva, that brother just wants to go home. He don't want to do this no more. He don't want to do this.
Do you guys have a problem with her tweeting?
I think it's not helpful. I'll put it like that. It's not helpful. She might be spitting.
I agree with you.
She might be spitting facts, but we don't need you to spit facts because you can't do anything.
It's clear. I mean? He's come home. He's gone home and he's moaning to her about what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what?
Publicly saying
they're in a position where they know, and we all know, Silva's gone at the end of the season. They have nothing to lose in this situation. And if that's the case, and they're coming out, or she's coming out, or whatever, with at least a little bit of like a little bit of a rude awakening, a little bit of an eye opener, I'll take it right now. With the way that we're moving, I'll take it right now. If he was staying, different story. But he's leaving, he's got nothing to lose. She's got nothing to lose. Fair play. At least it gives us a little bit of insight and truth as to what's needed or what's going on.
You're thinking it might send rockets up arses. My thing is, right, people are saying she's a fan. She clearly is a fan. She goes to the games. She sits with the crowd. Like, she'll take the train. She's actually mad humble, it seems like. She'll be amongst the people. My thing is when you're
an easy jet flight just to go to Chelsea.
Man, 100%. Like, she's clearly a G. But the thing is, when you're people are saying she's landing it. Let her land. The thing is, though, when you're a family member of a player who plays at a club of this magnitude, you know the rules. You know the rules. If you're a brother, a sister, a parent, a wife, you know the rules. You can't be chatting smack online. You just can't. You don't have to be spitting facts. You don't have to be waffling. It doesn't matter what you're saying. You can't be talking. There's a reason why no one else does. There's a reason why nobody else's family members, dads, uncles aren't chatting. Because they all got their opinions. They're all fans. They all want us to do well, but they're not on Twitter chatting. She's in that category. It just doesn't help. It's not helpful.
And is what she said as well, though. She basically said it's time to go for the manager.
She basically said sack the manager. That's what she said. She said sack him.
As real as she is, you
just can't do that.
I do like it. I personally do like hearing, people that are their opinion, but I don't think the fans are ready for that. So yeah, she can't. You can't do that in football. No, you can't. She has to chill, man.
People be like, yo, she cooks, she ain't wrong. No one says she's wrong. No one says she's not cooking. It's just the wrong.
If it wasn't Thiago Silva's wife, put it this way, if it was Mudrik's wife, hypothetically, how would it be perceived?
Yeah, exactly. And it can't be one rule for one and one rule for another. Because if that's Mudrik's girlfriend, you lot ain't having no chat from her. Because you're like, yo, shut up and watch your boyfriend play football and then talk. That's what you man are saying. So you can't just bend the rules, but depending on who you're in bed with, bro. Like, let's be real. If one man can't chat, another man can't chat. That's just it.
This is why I said what I said. I think if Thiago Silva was still staying, she wouldn't have said that.
Do you remember when Pulisic's dad was chatting?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Another
example. Yeah,
shut your ass up, man. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Eventually, Pulisic ended up going, but with this is why I reckon if Thiago Silva, for example, signing a new deal and going into next season, we wouldn't have seen what we saw today. They're definitely leaving. It's already been made public. She's just going to be like, yeah, screw it. Here you go. This is what's going on. Here's my opinion. Boom. But I think that's the only reason why. And you won't hear it from anyone else because all the players are staying. So
yeah.
And this isn't her first offense. Like, remember the Werner thing? She had to come out and give a public apology because she was saying he can't shoot, he can't pass. Like, she doesn't bite her tongue clearly. Like,
nah. But it's one of those
sad
things.
That this is one of the things with.
Yeah, I always say in the grand scheme, this is such a minor thing. It's just like a little. It's like a fly. Do you know what I mean? Oh, stop that. It's not. When we talk about the club right now, this is a minor. There's so many major issues, so many major problems. It's insane. Like, this is in line with the Jackson in Villarreal thing when we've just lost the game. We don't want to see it. It's not smart. It's not aware. You're not very aware, clearly, socially aware. But leaders cut this stuff out. Leaders stop this shit from happening. You know what I mean? Those type of incidences where, again, it's minor in the grand scheme, but it's still an olive branch as to why we're in this position. It's this type of nonsense and instability that's going on at the club that it all plays a part. Let's go. I'm going to go through super chats. We're going to wrap up soon, people. This super chat saying, I love Chelsea, but the injuries can't be an excuse. Real Madrid have 3 ACLs, now their entire defense out, and Vinny, and are still winning a game right now.
No, one of us said it's an excuse, though.
No one said it. Listen, Real Madrid, they're just about getting through them games, though. I'm keeping an eye on them. They're just about getting through those games. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
they didn't even win the game. They drew.
Yeah, I feel like Real Madrid, they're pushing their luck with this Bellingham shit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they're gonna keep winning these games the way they're going on, but yeah, we'll see. But listen, they got I don't know how many players they got out, but we got a lot of players out. I will say that it's not an excuse, but we got a lot of players out.
We average, I think, eight every match day so far, minimum.
8 to 10, 11 players out every game.
It was as high as 14 for one game. Imagine we had 14 first team players out.
Mad.
Just like Middlesbrough.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew it.
I hit 14. I was like, Middlesbrough.
I knew it. Have you seen a bed installed in the bridge for that Hilton promo at halftime? You're seeing people in costumes. It's a circus, by the way. Sterling has liked the Instagram FT post. It's clear as day. He's down in tools.
Yeah, there were some Chinese dragons doing the madness on the touchline today at halftime. I don't know.
Celebrating the year of the dragon, innit?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Well, we need revenue from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the
bed
Chelsea
thing wasn't
women's
that the
game,
Chelsea
isn't it?
women's game?
Yeah,
it was
the
a Chelsea women's game.
Chelsea women's games. They've moved from Kings Meadow to Stamford Bridge. They're not selling out. So unless we put them back in Kings Meadow, which is not good for them, right?
Has that been permanent?
I don't know. It's just I think it was just a handful of games. I think it was like 3 or 4 games. They're obviously bringing in the revenue because they're not selling out. I've been to Kings Meadow. It's a trek to get to. You're not going to get as many fans in Kings Meadow as you are in Stamford Bridge. So it makes sense for them to be in the bridge to build up their profile. It is what it is. Again, this is another minor thing that people will get angry with and frustrated with when we're not performing. If we were winning games and in the top 4 and handling business, no one care about Hilton bed at a Chelsea women's game. Let's be honest.
We've always done these promos at the bridge. I think people are just they're just hyper focused on it now because we're not winning. Well, we've always done it's on the Roman too. So I don't know what people's issue is. We've got to bring the money in somehow, innit? So what's the problem?
Yeah. United example is interesting as that's exactly what you guys need now. A footballing executive that runs the whole thing, hire DOFs and not your owners. Facts. I think this is the most important thing right now. We need a president. In Spain, they call it, or whatever you want to call it. We need an executive, CEO, president. Someone needs to come in and assess this, even if you don't sack anybody. I need somebody of reputation who's been there and done it at top clubs to come in and sit at the top of the food chain and look at everybody below them and say, you lot have 4 or 5 months until the end of the season. I'm watching all of your asses. I'm watching players. I'm watching manager. I'm looking at sporting director reports on who you're looking at and what play you do. You carry on business as normal. Don't take no instruction from me. I'm watching all of your asses. And then once I've decided who the clown is or how many clowns are here, then we're moving them on in the summer. And then we're going my way. That's if I could wish for anything right now, that would be exactly what I'd wish for. Is that one hire of a big name who's been there and done it at the top level at big clubs, who's got the reputation. If you do that, you don't even have to sack anybody today, because people will be sacked later anyway. That'll be fine, no problem. The managers are.
But you know what's odd?
In the summer.
They come from a corporate background, right? From like insurance, finance, investment, and all those corporations have like one head that knows really well the industry, and then they've got department heads everywhere, which essentially it's your job to make sure your part of the team is doing well. And if not, you're the one getting replaced. It seems like we've entrusted one sporting director, or 2 of them in this case, to basically do the job of everyone, which is very odd when they've got like a proven method in every other industry, because it makes sense, right? You bring experts in every field into your institution. Like, surely they haven't cut corners and penny pinched there when they spent $1 billion in a year and a half. Like, it's the foundations you have to lay.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I don't know, man. These guys, it's their first time running a football club, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're learning the hard way. So are we. So it's mad. Not everything from other sports translates over here, because this is a very, very tapped sport. Like, this sport will make you pay for your crimes
100%.
On the spot.
100%.
There is relegation around here. Not like in America. There's relegation around here. There is no guarantees of certain money coming in and competitions. You will be knocked out these competitions. No problem. We will have you doing 1 game a week, fighting for your survival in the Premier League every year. You can do that if you want to play games. That's what this is. This is the belly of the beast, man. It's insane. They're learning. I genuinely believe these lot thought Champions League was a given when they first came in. I genuinely believe that. I think they thought Champions League was a given. I think they thought it was based on stature and based on reputation and based on club size. And that's why the Super League is obviously always entertaining these American owners in particular, because they want guarantees in terms of revenue and to extend and expand the revenue and all of that. Once they learn that it's actually not like that, it's actually based on merit. Oh shit, damn, we got to try now. It's crazy. Monster is back, the king, bro. I'm just so happy that I could bring him outside. I'm so blessed to have him on, man. It's been such a long time, bro. All of the Chelsea YouTubers, they used to be just Guni's gone, bro. There were so many more people to chat to. It's just us three at the top trying to hold it down. Few others, but bro, everybody just leaving in our worst time. Everybody just leaving. We're like, yo, please come back. Players are poor because of the system. System is poor because of the manager. Manager is poor because of the project. Project is poor because of the ownership. Bars. Fred got the bars. Fred
summed it up.
Bars.
That was what, an hour and 35 minutes in 2 seconds.
Bars, bro. Damn, Fred on point today. This is an episode of All You Cannot Eat Chelsea. It is. Once I get the fresh thumbnail made in the morning, that's what we're changing it to. Clearlake
we have to change it, yeah. No more eating.
100%. We're going back 100%. Clearlake is loaded with 60 billion, not worried about cash.
No, FFP says otherwise.
Not as easy as that. Exactly.
That's not how that works. Go check out Newcastle, the richest club in the world right now, and having to potentially look on selling players. That's not how it works, bro. The fans need to protest against Clearlake. Only Mourinho can save us, especially before a potential cup final, to bring some identity back. Who do you guys want as your preferred manager? Like, who's obviously we just skip forward to the summer because we know that they're not realistic now. But who would you bring in? I'm not giving a suggestion because I'm in trouble.
you given yours?
Yeah, I'm in big trouble. More than you can believe. I'm in big. Me and Monster are in big trouble. So I'm not giving my suggestion. I'm gonna go along with whatever. If someone else take the baton. I've done part of this relay race now. You man take the bat and run with it. Who? Let me know in the chat as well. Put your name in.
Personally, I've wanted Hansi for a while, but it's going back to what I said. I don't really see any manager making any kind of massive difference that is going to be significant anyway. This is where I'm at now, bruv. It's more than just the manager, in my opinion. So I don't know who's going to come in and make that kind of impact at Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
I also think we're getting second-rate managers now. We're no longer going to get we're not going to have first pick. Like Bayern are going to be looking for a new manager. Barcelona are looking for a new manager. United are going to be looking for a new manager potentially. Liverpool. I feel we're going to get what's left. We're going to get the Spurs managers. You know, the ones that they look at after everyone gets picked, that caliber. So my pick would be the Sporting manager. I liked him for a while. I was calling him last year. But I don't want the Feyenoord manager. He just stinks of one of those hipster signings that, oh yeah, he done it well in Eredivisie, he can recreate it. I don't want it. I've seen some games. Yeah, they play nice football. I don't think it translates to the Premier League.
Yeah, personally, look, I stick with the fact that we need the directors changed first to assess exactly, someone with a logical top footballing opinion that can help make that process. Because if not, I agree. I reckon we go second rate. If it was up to me, I'd love Jose to come back in just to rattle feathers and get a foundation set. And then later on, with on the footballing level, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, and we get the club back into at least some sort of level, then we can look to progress further with everything that would have been implemented. But again, that comes with a top director. Right now, look, no one's operating if it's not for a top director. That's going to be the priority for me here. Because if not, we'll be turning in circles. Simple as that.
I don't know where this news report is coming from. But apparently Sanchez here is currently odds-on favourite to succeed Mauricio Pochettino at Chelsea if he's sacked ahead of Jose Mourinho and Xavi. Obviously,
I saw
Barcelona
that came
manager.
from I think it was Gambling Zone.
Yeah, that guy's done a madness for Girona, though. To be fair on him, but
some people
But
saying,
why
here,
would you leave? This is my argument, right? Why would you leave such a good institution that's built by Manchester City when there's a direct pathway potentially in a year and a half?
Potentially to be Pep's successor, yeah.
To be Pep's.
Yeah.
There's
If
no
I was
need
him, I
for
wouldn't
him
go
to put his
anywhere.
reputation. Who want? And that's another question, right? Who would want this Chelsea job after the last?
Only
18
a
months?
crackhead. Only a crackhead would want
Like,
it now.
If Chelsea are splashing the money, they'll take it, man. Not now, not mid-season. No, it would be in a. I'm talking about more in the summer. In the summer, like managers have that pride where if you pay them enough, they'll want to prove that I can take you out. I can take you out. Same thing with players. That's why when people say, "Oh, players won't go here, go there," when top clubs are down the ditches, players still go there. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, a manager would take if you pay them enough, they'll definitely take over, man. I don't think Chelsea will have that issue.
who's your pick, Monster?
Yeah, who's your pick?
I'm gonna be real. I don't know. I think it might be De Zerbi, only because he's worked with quite a few of these players, and he's worked with some of these guys. So it's more of a thing where it's familiarity, innit? Someone I know that, all right, cool, you can handle these players. You've worked with them. You know how to work with them. Some of the other managers, I'm just not sure if they can work with some of these players, man.
There's a 60 million release clause for a manager pending. We're going to break the record for that as well.
It can't still be that. Can't.
No, I made that number up. I'm just like, whatever the transfer record is for a manager, we're most probably going to have to break it dealing with Brighton.
The amount of money
I think he wants out as well. He definitely.
But the thing is, his antics in that press conference is exactly the type of temperament that this ownership would absolutely hate and would steer clear from. If you ever wanted to take yourself out of the Chelsea running for the job, you just did it there. Because these men don't like anybody to go. And this is my problem. That's my problem. I have no problem admitting I got this wrong. I'm only human after all. No problem. But they want a yes man. They want someone who's going to collaborate, who's going to answer on WhatsApp or collaborate with sporting directors and come out in press conferences and tell you that bro is going to be the next Harry Kane, and then tell you actually it's okay, I've got Washington. And the managers that fall into this, oh hell, you don't want to see these names. Oh, you don't want to see these names. All these managers with a bit of spine and a bit of backbone, these men are not interested. You saw the shortlist over the summer. You saw the shortlist prior, before that. You saw Frank Lampard come in for the PR stunt. You saw, bro, this is what we're doing.
This is our problem. He was on all of them though. He was on them shortlist.
Not now. Not that they seen him now. Oh, it's mad. Company was on the shortlist. It's true.
Company was in the final three, wasn't he?
Vincent Company was on there. Vincent Company was on there.
Do you think the season would have been different? Yeah, if we got Ainge. Do you think the season would have been much different?
No.
It's really tough.
Postecoglou. No.
Yeah.
Because with Postecoglou,
he wants to play a high line. We have slow centre backs.
We'd be losing 5-0.
Can you imagine it? Oh my god! So this is the best thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, if we just got Postecoglou, like we would be sick now. Look at how great he is. Look at what Tottenham became with the injuries, and then look at what they became when they didn't have their quick centre backs. The amount of chances we would be conceding. Oh my god, we would be shipping goals for fun. He wants to play a high line with Silva. You're getting clotted, bro.
Yeah, because if you remember when Van der Ven, it's quick. When he got injured, Tottenham started they were getting slapped about. Like, do you lot not remember? So
people are saying he would have used Paddy. Paddy's been injured most of the season.
He came here, he would have been washed. You lot would have all been screaming, "Get him out now!"
Since Paddy's come back, since Paddy Shield's come back, all he's been doing is making individual errors and not playing offside traps and not tracking runners.
I feel sorry for him.
I do too.
1 week left back, 1 week left centre back, 1 week bench. Then all of a sudden, like, bring the ball out. No, he fit long. Like, it must be hard to work under those conditions. Like, there's no familiarity on what you have to do.
And the recruitment at Tottenham needs more credit because the recruitment's been serious. Udogie, Sarr, Van der Ven, Romero, all under Paratici. Now,
it was in the ex-Juve.
Yeah. Now, the Brennan Johnsons and Timo Werners on loans, spooky, very spooky stuff. But the rest of it, pretty impressive. Madison, I mean, incredible.
It seems like they've recruited
Pedro Porro.
specifically for Ange.
Yeah,
Like, most of those players are Ange's, like, his prototypical type of players, and it's just worked. They've been great.
Yeah, 100%. That's why you got to mirror your signings with your manager, and then continue to keep that same style of manager. Like, you won't see a Liverpool go and get an Allegri now, because that's not who they've recruited for. They've recruited for Klopp style managers. So yeah, man. But that's not what we're on. We'll go from Potter to Poch and then go and get someone completely different probably afterwards. All of us Chelsea fans needs to unite against these owners. We need change right here and now. Bowie, Clearlake out. You know, Roman's got these men tied into a 10-year deal. You know they're not going anywhere, right?
You know what's funny?
Unless
if they were to actually pack up and leave, they would take no money. They take what they put in. Basically, they just get their money back for what they bought the club for. They'd lose money. Technically, they just lose money.
I hope there's a way that he can
just
buy back the club in 8 years, 9 years.
Can you imagine if he came back? Oh my days, that would be insane. But we'd be in League One.
We can build it back up again.
We'd be in the Papa John's trophy against Macclesfield. But he'll come back though, still be great, but we'd be in a very different position. This squad made me jealous of mediocre Luton Town, because Luton Town can at least attack with some efficiency. I miss Roman so much. God damn. That was honestly the worst year in recent history of this club. Tuchel falling off the rails with the Lukaku situation, losing the 2 cup finals on penalties and getting sanctioned and losing the ownership. Worst year imaginable at this club. That year changed the course of everything. Mad.
And then the year prior could have been the best. Like, yeah, we didn't win a league, but it was actually enjoyment. And
and the year after is the worst until now. Since the worst since the early 90s. There's so much Graham Potter revisionism going on online right now. It's making me so angry. It's making me so angry. I'm trying to hit someone. People are doing Graham Potter revisionism. It has to end. It has to end. Do you understand how many games we went without a win? Do you know it was like 2 wins in like 18 games? It was insane what we were taking. Oh,
do you think there's a world where we get Sarri back? And would anyone be open? Would anyone be open?
I'm cool with Sarri, but most of his fan base is not cool. Most of his fan base is not cool with Sarri like that. They're not cool with Sarri. That would just be a Rafa Benitez 2.0 situation, probably.
You know what's mad? We talk about like where the club is. I hear a lot of people that were there when we got relegated in like 88, 89, and they all said that they reckon this Chelsea is worse than that.
Jesus.
That this is the worst they've seen the club. On the pretense that back then you just had what you had, and we went down, we came back up, but with the limitations the club had, everyone kind of understood it and rolled with it, and you could see everyone giving what they could. Was now it's just a complete farce from head to toe. That says it all. It says it all. Crazy.
Let me just fly through these. We're gonna wrap up. I want everybody to get their dues, man. What a show this has been. People are saying get Johnny Minerals. He was already doing a live actually whilst we were on. So but yeah, listen, everybody knows he called it, man. I'm not here to do ITK. I don't mind who calls it first. Everybody knows he's been on this ownership from day one, man. He's always been on their necks. Everybody knows that. What if Bella is telling us what the squad thinks because she and Silva can afford it? Yeah, that's what Younes said. Yeah, you're right. Younes, my guy as well, with the super chat. You're right. If they're on their way out, then they can say whatever they want, I guess, isn't it? I've seen a lot of shouts for this manager as well, an actual leader. I think he plays a back 3, doesn't he? Which probably maybe suits the team right now if you're talking about a car crash and trying to piece it together and get ourselves at least short term out of this mess.
It's a back 3 with 2 controlling midfielders and heavily athletic forwards. So forwards that press, two midfielders that just shuttle around, and then the wing backs go crazy. It's fun to watch.
It's definitely one to watch. Ownership want both a yes man and a world-class tactician. Problem is these 2 things are mutually exclusive, says Kevin. Brilliant super chat. Much appreciated. Flick is a free agent, most a sensible appointment. He did do a brilliant job at Bayern, I must say. He did an incredible job at Bayern.
Won his treble and dipped.
Listen, it's not shady. It's not to say that Tuchel wasn't perfect. He ended his tenure on a low, but the point was to not sack Tuchel without having people in place to appoint the next manager, which is what we did. We sacked Tuchel, and these guys who were fond of the Brighton model, fond of the Red Bull model, decided to appoint Potter, and ever since then we've been absolutely shit. Let's keep it a buck. We went on a decent run after that with and that's it. You know,
we scored 76 league goals with Kai Havertz, Mount, and Werner. Like, some credit has to go to that.
Bro, I've been telling people to give Tuchel their credit. Tuchel his credit. That guy broke up with it, had a falling out with his wife, had to deal with Lukaku, sanctions, got to 2 cup finals in that season, then had the whole club ripped from underneath him, lost Petr Cech, lost Marina, had to be in charge of transfers for the whole summer with these guys on WhatsApp asking him about Ronaldo, and then he got off to a difficult start, which had us in 5th, and they sack him. And where have we been? Have we ever been in 5th since he left? No. Have we even sniffed 5th? We've never seen it again. We've never sniffed 5th. Oh, we lost to Dinamo Zagreb. We're not even in the Champions League now. I'd pay to play against Dinamo Zagreb right now. Please let me play against Dinamo Zagreb, please. So this Tuchel disrespect, I never have it, but you know, it's opinions. All right, let's wrap up. Listen, Younes, brother, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, man. Great
Absolutely, show. Man. And shout out to the others that have come on as well. Cabcast, cheers, mate. Monster, good to see you on there again, man. And same with you, Guni. So keep it all up, and yeah, me and you, Matisse, and the others will be obviously back to normal routine. And the doomsday settings will be here. So yeah, look, from now up until Wednesday, God knows what's going to happen. I'll give my thoughts and everything on everything that we hear. Younes Talks Football from tomorrow, and then we'll have the preview for the Villa game. Do we need to do a preview? I'll do it just for the sake of it. On Tuesday, I'll be here. So Younes Talks Football.
The team isn't consistent, but you are. You do your previews, bro. You know what I mean?
I'll be here.
Alexis, bro, pleasure. Debut on the channel, man. Absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and speaking your truth, bro. Where can the people find you, man? More content.
Guys, find me on the Gafgaz View. I do short form content. So if you want a quick catch up of 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most, that's where you find me. Reactions to press conferences, transfer news, different perspectives. Thank you very much for inviting me. Guys, it's nice to talk to you lot. It's refreshing to hear I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Bro, there's others out there, man, struggling. You know what I mean? It's good to have these talks in this therapy session. Guni, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. You buzzed me as soon as the bullshit today started, and I said, you know what? This brother's I need to hear what he's got to say, because when Guni turns up, we know the energy's always on. Let the people know where to find you, bro. Pleasure.
Might find me outside Stamford Bridge waiting for the ownership. I don't want to make no false promises and that. You lot will just see me when you see me, bro. If not outside Stamford Bridge, just keep an eye on YouTube.
Yeah, I love that. And Monster, we brought him back. Outside, bro, outside. The people have been praying for your arrival. Thank you for giving us time, and for giving us your opinions, man. I'm not gonna say to plug the channel, because I know that the channel ain't on. I know that you're just in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? But let the people know, man.
Yeah, you're not supposed to find me right now. I'm missing, I'm missing, man. Well, obviously, it was great being here with you, man. You see Alexis, Younes, Guni, and you, Matisse, obviously, as well. Big up, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. The last time I saw Monster, we were doing Champions League watch along, and we were enjoying the win under Tuchel. That was the last time we streamed together. It was a great night.
Hey, Marino was the biggest problem, apparently.
That was crazy.
Last time I saw Monster was at his happiest, bro. Do you know what I mean? You can still check that stream out. It's still on the channel. Me, Monster, Dami, Saj, just, drinking in his tears and just enjoying life, drinking and just loving life and watching the mighty Chelsea, bro. That's the last time I left Monster happy, man. Do you know what I mean? That's the last time I seen him in a happy state. that was a good day. People, subscribe, smash up the likes. It's been a blockbuster show. And yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I don't know what's gonna happen at my club, but get out of my club. Do you know what I mean? That's all I have to say. In a bit, people. Peace.
Get out.